Hey Pisces, I just sat down with my cards this evening, and honestly, the energy coming through for you right now is absolutely fascinating. You know that feeling when you can sense someone thinking about you so intensely that it almost feels like a physical presence? That is exactly what is happening in your energy field right now. I shuffled my deck with your sign in mind, and the cards that came forward are telling such a compelling story about this Friday energy and someone who is literally becoming obsessed with your absence. But before we dive deep into this reading, let me just say that what I am seeing here goes way beyond just someone missing you. This is about a complete energetic shift where you have stopped feeding into their ego validation needs, and now they are experiencing something they have never felt before. The first card that jumped out at me is the Ten of Swords in Pisces. This card is speaking volumes about someone who has hit rock bottom emotionally because of your withdrawal. This is not just missing you in a casual way. This person has been completely blindsided by how much your absence is affecting them. The Ten of Swords represents that moment of complete defeat and surrender, and in this context, it shows me that someone in your orbit has been brought to their knees by the realization that you are no longer available to stroke their ego or provide them with the emotional validation they had grown accustomed to receiving from you. What makes this even more interesting is that this person probably took your attention for granted. They got comfortable with the idea that you would always be there, always responding, always caring, always giving them that emotional boost they needed whenever they reached out. But something shifted in you, didn't it, Pisces? You pulled back your energy and stopped feeding into their need for constant validation. The Ten of Swords here is showing me that this withdrawal has hit them like a ton of bricks. They are experiencing a kind of emotional rock bottom because suddenly the well of validation they were drawing from has dried up. This card is also telling me about the anxiety they are experiencing. When someone has been getting consistent ego strokes from you and then suddenly that supply is cut off, it creates a panic response. They are not just sad that you are gone, they are anxious because they do not know how to function without that regular dose of attention and validation you were providing. The Ten of Swords energy suggests they are having moments where they feel completely overwhelmed by this anxiety, lying awake at night, wondering what went wrong, and desperately trying to figure out how to get back into your good graces. But here's what is beautiful about this Ten of Swords energy for you, Pisces. While it represents their defeat and surrender, it also represents the end of a cycle for you. You are no longer trapped in that dynamic where you were constantly giving your energy away to someone who was taking it for granted. The Ten of Swords marks the completion of that chapter and signals that you are moving into a completely different energetic space. The second card that came through is Justice, and this is where things get really interesting. Justice is all about karmic balance and natural consequences, and in the context of this reading, it is showing me that this person is now experiencing the natural result of how they treated your energy. For so long, they were able to come and go as they pleased, reach out to you when they needed an ego boost, and then disappear again without any real investment in the connection. But Justice is saying that this imbalanced dynamic is now being corrected by the universe itself. What I find fascinating about Justice appearing here is that it suggests this person is beginning to understand, perhaps for the first time, the true value of what they had access to through you. When someone has unlimited access to something, they rarely appreciate its worth. But when that access is suddenly removed, the true value becomes crystal clear. Justice is showing me that this person is going through a period of reckoning where they are being forced to confront how casually they treated your energy and attention. The anxiety they are experiencing is not just about missing you. It is about the fear that they may have permanently damaged something valuable through their lack of appreciation. Justice has a way of making people see their own behavior clearly, and this person is likely having some uncomfortable moments of self-reflection where they realize they took you for granted in ways they are not proud of. But Justice is also protective of you in this situation, Pisces. This card is telling me that the universe is actively working to restore balance in your favor. For every moment you spent giving your energy freely to someone who did not properly value it, justice is now ensuring that you get back what you invested, but in a different form. This might manifest as increased self-respect, clearer boundaries, or simply the peace that comes from no longer being energetically drained by someone who was not giving back equally. The third card that appeared is the Nine of Pentacles, and this is such a beautiful confirmation of your current energy, Pisces. The Nine of Pentacles is the card of independence, self-sufficiency, and enjoying the fruits of your own labor. This card is showing me that while this person is spiraling in anxiety about your absence, you are actually thriving in your newfound independence. You have created a life for yourself that does not require their validation or attention to feel complete. What the Nine of Pentacles is telling me is that you have reached a level of self-sufficiency that is both impressive and attractive. You are no longer looking outside yourself for the validation and emotional security that you once sought from others. This independence is not born out of bitterness or spite, but rather from a genuine recognition of your own worth and capabilities. You have learned to enjoy your own company, to find fulfillment in your own pursuits, and to create a life that feels abundant even when you are alone. This energy of self-sufficiency is probably part of what is driving this person crazy with obsession. There is something incredibly magnetic about someone who is genuinely content with their own company and does not need external validation to feel good about themselves. The Nine of Pentacles suggests that you have achieved this level of independence, and it is creating an irresistible pull for someone who is used to being the center of attention. But there is another layer to the Nine of Pentacles that I want to explore. This card often appears when someone has done the inner work necessary to break free from codependent patterns. It suggests that you have not just pulled away from this person physically or emotionally, but that you have fundamentally changed the way you relate to validation and attention. You no longer need someone else to feel complete, and this shift in your energy is probably more noticeable than you realize. The fourth card that came forward is the Page of Cups, and this is where we start to see the emotional underbelly of what this person is experiencing. The Page of Cups represents emotional messages, intuitive insights, and the beginning stages of deep feeling. In this context, it is showing me that this person is receiving emotional downloads about you constantly. They are being flooded with memories, feelings, and intuitive hits about the connection you shared. What makes this Page of Cups energy particularly intense is that it represents the raw, unfiltered emotional truth that this person is being forced to face. When you were readily available to them, they could keep their feelings at a surface level because they knew they could access you whenever they wanted that emotional hit. But now that you have withdrawn your energy, all of those deeper feelings are rising to the surface and demanding to be acknowledged. The Page of Cups is also telling me about the messages this person is receiving from their own intuition. Deep down, they know that they messed up. They know that they took something precious for granted and that their casual approach to the connection was ultimately self-defeating. This card suggests that they are getting clear, intuitive guidance about the depth of what they lost, but they are struggling to know how to act on this awareness. There is also a sense with the Page of Cups that this person is in the early stages of a much deeper emotional awakening. They are beginning to understand love and connection in a way they never have before, but this awakening is happening in the context of loss and regret. They are learning about their own capacity for deep feeling through the pain of your absence. The Page of Cups can also indicate that this person is being emotionally vulnerable in a way they rarely allow themselves to be. The anxiety and obsession they are experiencing is stripping away their usual emotional defenses and forcing them to confront feelings they normally keep buried. This vulnerability might be terrifying for them, especially if they are someone who is used to being in control of their emotional environment. Moving into the fifth card, we have the Two of Cups, and this is where the reading gets really deep, Pisces. The Two of Cups is the classic card of emotional connection, mutual attraction, and balanced love. But in this context, it is showing me the connection that this person now realizes they had with you, and the profound regret they feel about not recognizing its value when it was readily available. What the Two of Cups is revealing is that there was a genuine soul connection between you and this person, but it was obscured by ego patterns and emotional immaturity on their part. Now that you have withdrawn your energy, they are able to see the connection clearly for what it truly was. The Two of Cups represents that moment of recognition when someone realizes they had something real and beautiful right in front of them, but they were too distracted or immature to fully appreciate it. This card is also showing me that this person is experiencing a kind of emotional awakening where they are beginning to understand what authentic connection actually feels like. Previously, they may have been operating from a very surface level, focused on what they could get from the connection rather than what they could contribute to it. But the Two of Cups energy suggests that your absence has triggered a deeper understanding of love and mutuality. The obsession this person is feeling is not just about wanting you back, it is about yearning for that level of authentic connection they now realize they had access to. The Two of Cups represents the ideal of balanced emotional exchange, and this person is probably experiencing intense regret about how imbalanced the dynamic had become before you withdrew your energy. But there is something beautiful about the Two of Cups appearing in this position because it confirms that the connection was real and meaningful, even if it was not being honored properly at the time. This card suggests that on a soul level, there was genuine compatibility and mutual understanding between you. The tragedy from their perspective is that they did not recognize this gift while they had full access to it. The sixth card that presented itself is the Knight of Wands, and this energy is showing me the impulsive, desperate actions that this person is either taking or strongly considering taking to try to reconnect with you. The Knight of Wands is all about passionate action, sometimes reckless behavior, and the urgency that comes from intense desire. This person is feeling such a strong pull to reconnect with you that they are probably fighting the urge to do something dramatic or impulsive to get your attention. What makes the Knight of Wands particularly interesting in this reading is that it represents the fire energy of obsession. This is not the patient, strategic approach of someone who is thinking clearly about the best way to repair a connection. This is the frantic energy of someone who is being driven by panic and desperate longing. They want to charge back into your life with grand gestures and passionate declarations, but something is holding them back. The Knight of Wands also suggests that this person is experiencing an internal war between their pride and their desire. Part of them wants to swallow their ego and reach out to you with complete vulnerability and honesty about how much they are missing you. But another part of them is still caught up in ego patterns that make it difficult to take full responsibility for how they contributed to the current situation. This card is also telling me about the restless energy this person is experiencing. They cannot sit still with their feelings about your absence. The Knight of Wands represents someone who is pacing, planning, and mentally rehearsing different scenarios for reconnection. They are probably spending a lot of mental energy imagining what they would say to you if they had the chance, crafting the perfect message or planning the perfect gesture to win back your attention. But the Knight of Wands can also be a warning about impulsive actions taken from a place of desperation rather than genuine insight or growth. This person may be tempted to reach out to you in ways that are more about relieving their own anxiety than about actually honoring the connection or respecting your boundaries. The seventh card that came through is the Fool, and this is such a powerful card to appear in this position. The Fool represents new beginnings, leap of faith energy, and the willingness to start over with a beginner's mind. In the context of this reading, the Fool is showing me that this person is being called to approach the situation with you from a completely different perspective than they have ever used before. What the Fool is telling me is that this person is realizing they need to let go of all their previous assumptions and strategies when it comes to connection and relationship. They are being asked to approach you and the possibility of reconnection with the innocence and openness of someone who has never been in love before. This is a radical shift for someone who has probably been operating from ego patterns and manipulation tactics in their previous attempts at connection. The Fool also represents the courage to be vulnerable without knowing what the outcome will be. This person is being called to take a leap of faith and reach out to you from a place of complete authenticity, even though they have no guarantee that you will be receptive. This is terrifying for someone who has been used to maintaining control and protecting their ego in relationships. But the Fool is also showing me that this person is at a crossroads where they can choose to continue operating from the same patterns that led to the current situation, or they can embrace a completely new way of being in connection. The anxiety and obsession they are experiencing is actually serving as a catalyst for this transformation. Their discomfort is so intense that they are willing to consider approaches they would have rejected before. The Fool energy suggests that if this person can find the courage to approach you with genuine humility and openness, without trying to control the outcome or protect their ego, there might be potential for a completely different kind of connection than what existed before. But this requires them to let go of everything they think they know about love and relationship and start fresh. The 8th card that appeared is the King of Pentacles. And this is showing me the mature, grounded energy that this person is being called to embody if they want any chance of rebuilding something meaningful with you. The King of Pentacles represents someone who has done the work to become emotionally mature, financially stable, and capable of offering real security and commitment in a relationship. What this card is telling me is that this person is beginning to understand that casual, surface-level connections are no longer satisfying for them. The obsession they are feeling about your absence is actually awakening them to their desire for something deeper, more stable, and more committed. The King of Pentacles suggests that they are realizing they want to be someone worthy of a real partnership, not just someone who gets ego validation from casual attention. This card also represents the practical steps this person needs to take to become someone who could actually contribute meaningfully to your life. The King of Pentacles is about building something solid and lasting, not just experiencing intense emotions or making grand gestures. This person is being called to demonstrate through consistent actions over time that they have grown and changed. But the King of Pentacles also represents the security and stability that this person could potentially offer you if they do the inner work required to embody this energy fully. This is not about love bombing or temporary behavioral changes to win you back. This is about a fundamental transformation in how they approach commitment and responsibility in relationships. The King of Pentacles energy suggests that the anxiety this person is experiencing about your absence could serve as motivation for them to become the kind of person who is actually capable of sustaining a healthy, balanced relationship. They are being shown a vision of who they could become, but the work of transformation is entirely up to them. The 9th card that came forward is the Moon, and this card is illuminating the confusion, illusion, and hidden fears that are driving this person's obsessive thoughts about you. The Moon represents the subconscious mind, hidden emotions, and the anxiety that comes from not fully understanding what we are dealing with. This person is not just missing you on a conscious level, they are being haunted by subconscious fears and insecurities that your absence has triggered. What the Moon is showing me is that this person's obsession is being fueled by deep-seated fears about their own worthiness and lovability. Your withdrawal of attention has triggered their core wounds around abandonment and rejection. They are not just worried about losing you specifically, they are terrified of what your absence means about their fundamental value as a person. The Moon also represents the illusions and projections that this person has been operating under in relation to you and the connection you shared. They may have convinced themselves that the dynamic was working fine and that you were happy with the level of investment they were providing. Your sudden withdrawal has shattered these illusions and forced them to confront the reality of how unbalanced things had become. This card is also telling me about the nocturnal anxiety this person is experiencing. The Moon governs the nighttime hours, and this person is probably lying awake, replaying every interaction, trying to figure out where things went wrong and what they could do differently. The obsessive thoughts are particularly intense during quiet moments when their defenses are down. But the Moon also represents intuitive wisdom and psychic sensitivity. This person is receiving intuitive downloads about the true nature of love and connection. But these insights are filtered through their fear and anxiety, making it difficult for them to receive the guidance clearly. They may be getting accurate psychic information about your feelings and thoughts, but they are interpreting this information through the lens of their own insecurities. The final card that completed this reading is the Page of Pentacles, and this is such a hopeful note to end on Pisces. The Page of Pentacles represents new opportunities, practical learning, and the willingness to start over from the beginning with dedication and humility. This card is showing me that if this person can move through their current obsession and anxiety in a healthy way, there is potential for them to emerge as someone completely different. What the Page of Pentacles is telling me is that this person is being offered an opportunity to learn about love and relationship from scratch. They are being asked to approach connection with the dedication and patience of a student who knows they have everything to learn. This is radically different from their previous approach, which was probably based on ego gratification and control. This card also represents practical action, taken from a place of genuine desire to improve and grow. The Page of Pentacles suggests that this person could channel their obsessive thoughts about you into constructive self-improvement. Instead of just fantasizing about reconnection, they could actually do the work to become someone worthy of the kind of love they are seeking. The Page of Pentacles is also showing me that this person has the potential to offer you something real and valuable if they commit to their own growth and transformation. But this is not about quick fixes or temporary changes to win you back. This is about a long-term commitment to personal development that would benefit them regardless of whether you ever choose to reconnect. What makes this card particularly meaningful in this position is that it represents hope without entitlement. The Page of Pentacles suggests that this person could earn their way back into your consideration through consistent demonstration of growth and maturity, but they cannot demand or manipulate their way back in. So Pisces, what we have here is a beautiful picture of someone who has been completely blindsided by the realization of what they lost when you withdrew your energy. The anxiety and obsession they are experiencing is serving as a catalyst for potential transformation, but the actual work of change is entirely up to them. You have done nothing wrong by protecting your energy and refusing to continue feeding into dynamics that were not serving your highest good. The cards are showing me that your absence has created a void in this person's life that they are desperately trying to fill, but they are learning that no amount of external validation can replace the genuine connection they took for granted with you. This is a profound lesson for them about the nature of authentic relationship and the importance of reciprocity and mutual respect. Your Friday energy is going to be particularly powerful because you are operating from a place of complete emotional independence, while someone else is spinning in obsessive thoughts about you. This creates an incredibly magnetic dynamic where your detachment actually increases your appeal and power in the situation. The beautiful thing about where you are right now, Pisces, is that you are not waiting around hoping this person will change or come to their senses. You have moved into your own abundant energy and created a life that feels fulfilling without their participation. This is the most attractive and powerful position you could possibly be in. Whether this person does the work to become someone worthy of reconnection is entirely up to them, but you are no longer energetically invested in the outcome either way. You have reclaimed your power and your peace, and that is the most important victory of all.